Hello, everyone. So, in this video, I want to talk about my favorite destination so far since I have done my travel journey. And to be honest, it's not a long list, it's pretty short, but I would say my top countries that I would visit, possibly live and go back to, is number one, France. Number two would be Thailand. And three, believe it or not, would be South Africa. So I'm going to get into detail as to why I named all those three countries and just based on my own experience, why I love it, I enjoy it, and I could possibly live there. And I'll tell you in a bit. So, number one, the reason why I chose France is because I was in Paris. That was one of the third countries I was able to visit on my own. I do have a lot of family there because my family, I'm from West Africa, so it's predominantly French-speaking countries in the area. And just being there, I felt very comfortable. I was happy. It's a huge city. Paris is gorgeous. There's obviously pros and cons, but I loved it. They are huge with cafes. I love their baguettes. Honestly, the architecture was gorgeous. I liked it. Now, I was only there for about 2 months when I visited Paris in France. And I know that's not enough time to make a decision as to visiting and just living there in general. But because it was just a different scene for me, I felt pretty safe, to be honest, even as a woman traveling alone. But I just had that sense of security because I was staying with family. So obviously, I had people to talk to, people to, let them know about the sites that I was seeing and so forth. So that was pretty good. And what really interests me and drawn me in the most with France is convenience. I like convenience. So when I talk about convenience, I'm basically stating convenience like I can take an Uber anywhere. And there's really good public transportation. It's super fast. It's clean. You just have to be mindful because, pickpocketing is it's a problem out there. But other than that, I just love the convenience, which is public transportation. Because if I were to ever in the near future relocate to a different country and I decide to pick France, I know I won't have to worry about a car, to be honest. Now, there's other cities in France that I wish I was able to visit, like Bordeaux, Nice, Lyon. But I know in the near future, I'll definitely check them out just to see how it is compared to Paris. Because that's obviously like a tourist attraction city. But it's huge. There's so many things to do. I even had a friend that I met up with who lives in Paris. So she showed me around different areas and I just loved it. It was different. It's a very romantic and a loving city. So that just made me feel very comfortable being there. Now, my second country, as I mentioned before, is Thailand. So when I was in Thailand last year, back in 2023, I went in June. So that was obviously rainy season. So I wouldn't recommend going during that time. And I actually visited cities Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Krabi. So I did all three of those. Bangkok is like tourist epicenter. That's the huge main city. Now that was amazing. Thailand just blew me away. It's pretty good, budget friendly, I would say. And there's a lot of activities. I did walking tours. I was able to visit, the temples that they have out there. Thailand was phenomenal. I can just go on and on and on about it, but there's so many other resources online of many people that actually live there because the hospitality is amazing. People are kind, they love tourists, very welcoming. The food is amazing. It's delicious. So there was a lot of good when I was there and I was happy. I felt safe. There wasn't too much going on, because I went during a very low time, which was the rainy season, but that shouldn't deter you from visiting during that time. They still have a few activities. I did Bangkok for about 2 weeks and then I took a train to Chiang Mai. So Chiang Mai is more in the northern part of the country and they have this amazing overnight train that turns into a bed. And it just felt good to be in a different country and having that experience. Because in the States, I don't think I've ever experienced something so different like that before. So it felt good to, be in a place that is just so different. And on top of that, they help you a lot. Like when I was there, I had like a huge suitcase and a little carry-on. And anytime like a man would see me, he would help me with my bags. And that made me feel really good. Chiang Mai was beautiful. I think it's a smaller city. It's walkable. You can walk. And I go back to food again. They have the best smoothies in my opinion. There's a beautiful Sunday night market. I'm not sure if that schedule has changed, but if you're going to Chiang Mai, you're going to shop until you drop. There's tons of markets around Chiang Mai. And I think it's a lot better than the markets in Bangkok. That's just my personal opinion. But I noticed not that many people are familiar with Chiang Mai. So if you're going to Thailand, just please, you can even do your own research. There's a lot of videos on TikTok about Chiang Mai. And the highlight of my trip to Chiang Mai was the elephant sanctuary. I'm an animal lover. I love cats. I just like animals. So when I found out the elephant sanctuary was there, I booked a ticket. I woke up super early and it was the best experience of my life. Like I do have an elephant sanctuary short on my channel. So if you want, you can take a look at that. They are just beautiful, gentle giants, It felt so refreshing to just be around that, in my opinion. There's also this huge temple. It's in Chiang Rai. I think that's about like a 4-hour drive taking the bus. Now, I didn't get a chance to do that because legally, I was only in Thailand for about 30 days. So I wanted to just map out my time in Chiang Mai and then also visit Krabi because I'm a heat girl. I love summer. I love beaches. So apparently Krabi was supposed to be like a better destination than Phuket. So I went to Krabi and it was pretty nice. So if you are Muslim, Krabi is a predominantly Islamic city. So that's pretty nice. There's no pork. I don't eat pork. The beach is beautiful. I really spent a lot of time on the beach. I don't know. I also saw like monkeys. I don't know if there were monkeys or other types of animals, but that was beautiful. Just being by the water was amazing. I did like the little boat ride. I did a lot of activities and it was just an unforgettable experience for me. But it was a lot of fun. The people were great. And they have so many people outside to help you with maybe booking activities if you can't do it online. But in my personal opinion, I would do it online instead, because if you do it with the people that are showing you, that are, willing to book your activities for you, you're paying, a fee for them, you're paying a fee for the activity and all that other stuff. For me, I don't like to be negligent with my spending, so I'm always calculating and making sure I'm spending wisely. Even though I'm on holiday, I'm enjoying my time. You also have to be smart, So that's just my intake with Thailand. It's worth it. It's worth the trip. Even if you go alone, it is safe. You're going to meet people. It's really fun. And there's a lot of tourists out there. There's people from Europe, Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada. They go to Thailand and some people just end up living there. So why not just go and visit? Maybe for like 2 weeks if you can. It's a long distance if you're coming from the Americas, but it's worth the trip. Now, my third country is South Africa. So when I talk about South Africa, I'm really referring to the city of Johannesburg. To this date, I have been to Johannesburg 5 times, literally. I love it. I love the culture. I love the diversity. It's a huge city. Once again, I think it's convenient. You can take Uber anywhere, and they have a cow train that goes to all of the major other cities like Sandton, Rosebank, Centurion, Pretoria. You can just take a train and go there straight, I visited Cape Town, by the way, and they don't really have that. But for some reason, Johannesburg stole my heart. I would live there. I've been there so many times just to test it out, just to see if it's for me. And honestly, that's the only country I think about anytime I leave the US. If I want to celebrate my birthday, I try to make sure I'm in Johannesburg. Even if I'm alone, barely have any friends, I'm fine. All because I'm in a different country and I'm happy. That's what makes me happy, you know? So there's more to it with South Africa. So we all know the history behind it, you know, and to be honest, apartheid was not too long ago. But when you go and you meet people, like for me, like I mentioned before, I love to, you know, have a dialogue with people that I meet in cafes or anywhere I am in the mall. I do a lot of different activities. And I meet most of the locals when I'm in a cafe or any social setting. So I make sure that I interact with locals as much as possible. And to be on the safe side, sometimes I don't disclose my country of origin because that can also, you know, put you in a awkward situation. But I can talk about that in a separate video. But yeah, I mean, my first trip there, it was in 2022 to South Africa, Johannesburg, and it just blew me away. I was so wrong about it. I just thought it was, you know, I didn't need a visa, so I just decided to go out there. And it was just so easy for me to just meet people, be kind, have a conversation. It's a really, really, there's so many people from different countries in Africa that currently live in Johannesburg. So you meet people from Ghana, Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Djibouti, everywhere. It just felt like, wow. And the country is very well developed. Now, there's certain areas where it's not too great, but that's everywhere, even in the States. But what I love about it the most is hospitality, people. You know, I've been there several times, so I know how the culture is, being that I've been there so many times. And it's just like respect is huge. Like other African countries, I really like any uncle or aunt will correct you, you know, if you are not respectful or kind when you're talking to others. And I love that. I love how happy the people are. There's really no negative, you know, energy out there or any hostility. I don't really get that vibe. And honestly, it just feels like home to me. I really, really love it. I think it's budget friendly compared to France. Maybe I think Thailand's a bit cheaper, you know. I forgot to mention, so for Thailand, it's better to carry cash as opposed to using your card. But in South Africa, it's very cashless. You know, they only accept card in many places. Even at the Starbucks out there, it's only card only. So just think about those things, you know. For me now, after traveling to so many places personally, I'd rather just have the cash only because I had to replace my credit cards like twice already because there was some fraudulent activity happening in somewhere and I had to get my card shipped and then wait for it while my current card was off. So that really put me in a tough situation. But I would just say, if you're traveling to a country, you got to do your research. You know, people on social media, including myself, will say anything, but you got to think about it. I don't know when you're going to see this video, maybe in the near future, in next 2, 5, or 7 years. Things are always changing and improving. So you want to make sure you go online and just see how things are at the moment. And you'll be okay. As long as you are comfortable with educating yourself and interacting with people who travels a lot too. That will help you in a sense. So, you know, back to my story of South Africa, I think it's an amazing place. It's worth the trip. Now, obviously, there's issues, you know, with safety measures there and things like that. But just be mindful, be vigilant, you know. Don't go to a foreign country and show fear because not everywhere is the same. You know, you just have to read the environment. You know, your confidence will build if you want to travel long term. And I think you'll be okay from that point. So I hope you found this very helpful. I mean, if you want to hear more about my journey and why I'm sharing my experience with these three countries, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll get into more detail as to why I feel this way and why that's my top three countries that I would actually live in long term or permanently. I don't mind. Okay, bye for now. Thank you so much.